So here we are, episode 2 of Colliding Forward podcast.
Yeah.
We did it.
We did it.
I think the greatest thing we have done so far is convince Mary McKenzie to join the team.
Took a whole episode.
Let's welcome Mary McKenzie.
Yeah.
So this is the team. No more, no less. I don't think we can.
Are there podcasts with 4 people, or is that excessive?
Oh yeah, there's like 5.
Oh.
There's a podcast with 5 people.
I heard one with 6 once.
Dang.
Okay, shut up.
But this is the
No,
team.
yeah, 5.
And so I guess we can say episode 1 was like a pilot.
Just
And this is
testing
like-
the
Honestly,
waters.
like, this reflects the garden story. God made Adam,
Huh.
and then he said, we need more.
Uh-huh.
That's good.
Yeah.
See, that's
Yeah.
why
That's
we
why
have
we have Mary.
That's
Everything.
good. And God said it's not good for man to podcast alone.
It's true.
I will make for them a helper to podcast.
I feel like that's the millennial, that's the passion version.
Yeah.
They need to come out with their own version.
The passion?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
They have a version.
The Passion of Christ.
It's called the Passion
Of Christ
Bible.
by Mel Gibson.
This isn't
No.
real.
Okay, so last episode, what did we cover? Oh yeah, maybe Mary should have her take at what we did in episode 1, which is like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm about. This is like the greatest thing I've got going on. This is like the hardest thing I've got going on. And then we can move on from us doing that. But Mary, that's what we did in episode 1.
Yeah.
We just kind of said, hey, my name's Tim, and I wipe poopy diapers all day.
Yeah.
And that's great, but it's also really poopy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hashtag dad joke. So, Mary, just take a few minutes. Tell us about yourself. What's like the greatest thing you've got going on, and what's
Yeah.
some hard stuff?
Yeah, I think the greatest, I get to work with a nonprofit, and we do fitness. We use that as a tool for the gospel, and we do a holistic approach, which I am all about, like,
What does that mean?
holistic.
Yes. 'cause
Yeah.
There has to be someone listening that holistic.
I'm going to be honest, like, we threw that word out for a long time, and then somebody asked me about it. I was like, well, I don't know.
Right.
So it just says, like, a lot of times in the fitness industry, we talk a lot about, like, we want to look a certain way. But also, like, food and working out is so tied to our mental and our souls and our identity. And so it's just going into all of that. And we do men and women, and just target, like, what's your identity? Like, yeah, you can come jog 13 miles, like, way to go. But man, if in your heart you believe I'm a bad person, or I'm not worth it, or this makes me somebody, all of those are skewed beliefs about yourself. So we just want people to know that they're valuable because they image God. We want people to know, like, you can have a great body and things in your mind can be broken, and that's okay, and we can deal with that. And things that we do with our body can heal.
I don't know why that made me laugh.
I don't know why either.
You can have a great body, but but things can still be
Listen,
broken in your heart.
I mean,
Girl,
for
I know
sure.
you looking good, but you ain't looking good on the inside.
I mean, but
It's
y'all
true.
have met those people where you're like, oh, and then you have a conversation with them, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And yeah, so just, yeah, Tim.
Come on.
Am I broken
I'm just
on the
kidding. You don't
inside?
work out.
No, your
He's
body's
got
not
neither on
great.
I'm actually going to talk a little bit about what God's been doing in my life with fitness and eating.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. But I don't want to, I want to listen to what you have to say.
That's
Yep.
even cooler.
Thank you.
So that's cool that I get to do that. And I think it's a hard thing in my heart, like, just to balance. Food is just something I've always struggled with. Control is something I've struggled with.
Which is awesome because I would have never, and we have a pretty good relationship.
Yeah.
And before you would have said that, I don't think I would ever have thought that or guessed that about you.
Therapy. I'm not even joking. But yeah, I had a bad breakup in my early 20s and ended up being hospitalized for an eating disorder. I'm super private about my dating life. I don't know.
No, I'm playing the guess game in my head. In your 20s, I'm trying to guess who.
I don't think we were working
Yeah,
together at that point.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, like, it did things in my heart, and it was easy to use food to control that, and ended up needing some serious help, which is so frustrating. But
Right.
and I think too, was even thinking about this the other day, because, like, holiday times, like, is so triggering for me personally, I've heard other people that have struggled with working out and eating as a thing. Like holidays are just hard.
Dude, it really is.
Yeah.
And there's like, I always say, there are people who are in our church who we call them the fat fairies.
Yeah.
Because every day you'll show up in our kitchen and there's like chocolate cake waiting for you.
Yes.
We don't know who brings it.
Yeah.
We don't know who made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we
But
just eat
how
it.
often do you just use that to medicate? Like, I'm tired, or I'm annoyed that I have to go do this with my family, or like you eat it and then you chastise yourself, like I shouldn't eat that.
So I do it because I'm cheap. I'm a very frugal
Oh.
person. So I think, oh, chocolate cake, I can eat that. And now I don't have to pack a lunch or I don't have to go and spend
So you're
6, 7
lazy.
Yeah.
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 No.
Well, I mean, that might be the root of it. Who knows? But I see that and I go, sweet. Now I don't have to pay for lunch.
No,
Free
So
dude.
you're
food.
just a pastor. A pastor's salary.
I
Wait,
love free food.
Yeah, no.
Like,
I'm
I'm
not
the
saying
same-
that's a bad
yeah.
thing.
and I am balling on a budget.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, you are.
I got a stay-at-home
You're frugal,
mom.
Is
like
that the name
shit.
of
I'm
this
not making much
episode?
money. I got
Balling
2
on a
kids.
budget.
Balling
You know
on
how
a
many times I
budget.
look at my kids and say, you know how rich I would be if it wasn't for you two?
Wow.
Doesn't mean you're not valued.
Weird.
I value you, but I just
Wow.
want you to know
But
that
you're
dad
expensive.
has
Yeah.
to eat free chocolate cake at work
Yeah.
because of you.
Gets to eat free chocolate.
No, yeah.
cake.
I'm the same way though. I like fast food is so convenient. Like it's so easy to just
But
go.
you don't eat fried food or sugar.
I don't eat fried food or
or
sugar.
protein.
And you've lost like 50 pounds.
It was somewhere around 40 to 50. Yeah. Well, 35, 40, 45, somewhere in that ballpark. I have no idea how much I lost.
It was a lot.
It was a lot, but like I still can't say I eat super healthy. I just have cut out 2 things, and then I just eat a bunch of Taco Bell still. So like I'm not.
I love Taco
It's
Bell.
so
Can we
good.
just talk about Taco
I
Bell?
love Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Cheap Mexican.
Boom.
That is my thing.
Yeah.
We just did an elbow high five before.
Did you like how
was like,
sweaty my hands are from the coffee?
That was awesome.
Uh,
No, but I'm telling you, a chalupa
Mm.
is delicious.
Chalupas. No.
Crunchwrap Supreme.
That's what I get.
Oh yeah.
What is the,
The tacos?
Doritos Locos Taco?
No, I don't mess with that.
Honestly, I love
I
their
love
like
that.
50-cent hard shell taco that has like 2 bites of maybe meat and a little bit of cheese
I
and that
don't-
the
wilted
mystery.
I don't know
lettuce.
what that beef is, but they season it like a champ.
The mystery is part
Do
of
you
the
know
fun.
what they
Yeah.
use? What they got, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'll
And it's so
support
cheap.
that.
Their dollar menu is the best in the game.
Hmm. I mean, Wendy's. I'll defend Wendy's.
Okay,
to the
speaking
day
of
I die.
Wendy's,
Frosties?
hold on. Speaking of Wendy's, they for the next 2 weeks are having a deal. Shout out to Wendy's. We're not sponsoring them yet.
But you
We're not
can.
sponsored.
We gotta.
You,
You
mean
they're
can.
not
sponsoring
sponsoring
There
us.
you go.
Yeah.
We would love to
That's
sponsor
close.
Wendy's though.
Tim, if
that
we
could
keep
happen.
giving free shout outs, nobody's gonna sponsor us.
Good point.
Yeah.
If you go to Wendy's right now, you can buy a little Frosty keychain tag, and for a whole
Yes.
year, if you just make one little purchase, you get a free Frosty
Yeah.
with that purchase.
Fries and a frosty. Get out of there less than $2.
I was there the other day,
That's what's up.
and they just gave me a free frosty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw.
I was with you. It was a while ago, actually. It
Did
wasn't
you
the other
like?
day.
Did
manip-
Cameron get a free frosty?
He did.
Did you say
I
Or
didn't
something?
need
maybe-
it.
Did you walk up
Yeah.
and you're like, "Hi"?
Well, I was like, I want a frosty, and it was 50 cents at the time, and they were like, well, we might as well just give it away because it's not worth selling.
See, I love getting free stuff. I hear that and I'm like, "That's awesome."
The best.
I do. I love free stuff. Remember when I was like 5-6 years ago here at the church, I bragged about getting a shirt for free from the blood drive, and I didn't give blood.
He was so proud of it.
And you
I
would have
didn't
thought,
save a life, and they gave me their
Yeah.
crap.
and you would have thought I blasphemed the Holy Spirit in front of everyone. They were just
Yeah.
disgusted
So good,
with me,
though.
Wow.
and I thought I was the man.
You weren't.
No, but I wore that shirt a couple months ago, cutting the grass.
Good job.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like your work shirt. You don't even like the shirt, do you?
No, it was just
Wow.
more a pride thing. I didn't have to give blood.
Do we edit these things, like cut out this crap, or
No.
we keep it
No.
in?
We keep it real.
This crap, yeah. Agreed.
So back to Mary.
Sucks.
So you were kind of explaining the whole holistic thing, identity. You were saying you could be rocking it on the outside, but kind of broken on the
Oh
inside.
yeah, for sure.
Pick back up
Yeah.
with that. Do you remember?
Nope.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to put it back on Mary.
I
'cause-
think that was everything I wanted to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what does that tangibly look like every day? Like, okay, you're a part of Whole Fitness. You believe that, but so what do you do with that? Like,
Yeah.
you have classes. Who are the
Yeah.
people you hang out with?
Yeah, we do classes 3 times a week. And then I get to do some one-on-one stuff on the side a couple times a week, which is my favorite. And then we do a bunch of social media stuff with like mental health and online workouts and eating plans. And
That's awesome.
yeah, it's really cool.
Huh. So I was going to add to kind of your whole fitness thing. Shout out Jen Mayer.
Oh, love
We
it.
love Jen Mayer.
Yeah, she's cool.
Do you guys know who Jen Mayer is?
No,
Absolutely.
I don't.
Dude.
No, I do.
Okay.
I don't.
I actually just joined, you know how I'm a part of that Download Youth Ministry community? Starting in January 1st, they have this thing called the Youth Pastor Diet.
Yeah.
And they're just having all these youth pastors kind of buy in about the eating healthy, having
Love
discipline,
it.
being
Love
that
it.
example. Because a big part of my story is weight loss is a huge part of my story.
I'm going to see if the pastors will get on board and just, hey, for a month
I
in
would love
January,
that.
will you let me just come do
Oh,
coaching with
he's
you?
so good.
And
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would love that. I mean, like, what's it, 2010, I lost like 80 pounds.
yeah, you did
I used to
awesome.
wear your belt.
Drove me crazy.
Yeah.
He needed to borrow a belt, and it would fit him, and it would make me so mad.
Yeah. And then I had kids. And there really is something about when you have kids, like you'll see them eating and they'll take 2 bites and I can't throw away their chicken nuggets.
I've heard parents say that.
Yeah, I can't do it. So you eat it. And it sucks. And it's hard because you don't want to miss the mornings with them. You don't want to miss the evenings for bath and bedtime. So you
Yeah.
kind of get in this weird, it's weird. However, it's an excuse. You can still make it happen. Like there's still some sacrifice.
Well, you know what? This might be wrong, but it's almost cheap love to do that for your kids. Like
Right. Yeah, I would agree.
it's hard to do self-care and to parent, which I have no idea about parenting.
Well, if you really love your kids, you got to take care of yourself.
Well, and even to teach your sons, like, hey, this is what it looks like to be a man and a good dad. And
Right. No, I'm with you. And
Yeah.
showing the discipline.
it's hard, though, for sure.
Yeah. And showing them, hey, you can have self-control with food. Because in the South,
Oh, man.
we just eat. That's
Oh,
what we
dude.
do.
And like the way Southern people prepare everything. Like
Yeah.
the Southern version of anything is just deep fried. Deep fried.
Which is awesome.
I love it.
It's
I do too. But
it's yeah.
it's all in
not good for you.
moderation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Easier said than done.
Mhm.
That's for sure. But at January 1st, I'm getting back on the
I love it.
train.
Love it.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to start working out again and running, and I'm ready. I'm feeling it.
You going back to CrossFit?
No, because I did CrossFit because I got a free membership.
It's expensive.
It is. And then I lost the free membership, and then I stopped doing it. But I do have like a squat rack in my garage and a wall ball and ab mat, kettlebells. Like I've got it all in my garage. But I will say one thing that Whole Fitness has going for it that my garage doesn't is community.
Totally. That's so important.
No, it's so depressing
And
going
it
to my garage.
even creates.
It's cold too. It's very cold. It's the worst. I'm in there for like 10
worst.
minutes and I'm like smelling something in the crock pot and I just waddle back in.
I'll take a break
Right.
till May.
Never come back.
But when you do something in community, there's actually neuroscience that it creates deeper and faster brain pathways. So it ups our neurogenesis,
Wow.
like all of this stuff.
A neuro what?
Our neurogenesis. So that happens every single morning. And it also, we can make it happen when we're in community doing it together. So there really is something about like, you want to start a new habit, you want to do something new, get people.
Can
do
that
it
happen
together.
with worshiping together in community?
Honestly, so if you look at the science about even singing, like when you sing with somebody and the way that it creates bonds in your brain to that person, like the
Maybe
way
we
that
can
God
end this
set up
podcast
worship,
with singing together.
Please don't do this.
Oh no.
dude,
No, why
nobody
is
will
everybody
listen to
no.
that, but
Wait.
Y'all ever heard of Baby Shark?
Stop.
No.
Stop
No.
it. Stop it. Stop it.
They're
Sorry.
the
I mean-
young hip ones. Maybe we can
No.
end with like
are we the old like losers?
you're
that are
not.
like,
You're like the perfect. Well, how old are you?
27.
Yeah, that's the sweet spot.
I love it.
It's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good age.
I miss it.
You're like young enough to still be with people,
Same.
but old enough not to care what they think anymore.
Oh, I miss my high 20s.
I love it. I'm gonna enjoy
Get
it.
ready for 30. It's
Stop
the
it.
Dirty 30.
I,
It's the
that
worst.
is it because you had kids though?
No, it's your crap's not cute anymore.
Oh yeah.
Like I
That's
would
very
25, 26 when we were doing ministry together, I was playing video games till like 2 in the morning. I'd come in, tell them why I was tired. And they'd be like, he'll grow out of that.
You're
Now,
30 and it's just sad.
When I come in at 32 and I still played video games until 2 in the morning, I just blame it on the kids. I'm like, the
Stop.
kids aren't sleeping. And they're like, ugh. But if I were to say, like, I was playing video games, they're like,
not cool.
grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're such a loser.
Mm.
It's sad. I hate it.
Sounds like a good community.
Yeah,
Oh,
great.
what?
Calling you a loser.
Yeah.
Huh? It's your dad, probably.
Ooh.
Shout out Alan Shearer.
I doubt it.
If Alan
Oh.
Shearer tells you something, though, like when he tells you you're doing something wrong, you need to knock it off.
He calls
'Cause
me
it
Oh, that's
Skippy.
true.
a long time for him to like really call you out.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mm.
So once
Grow
he's
up.
there
I'll
with you,
receive
you're kind
that.
of
You
like,
ever gotten called out by Alan Shearer, Tim?
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, you'd remember.
I'd be shocked if we've been doing ministry for 8 years together and he
Yeah.
hasn't called me out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm kind of sad his shoes don't squeak anymore.
Oh,
do you know whose shoes squeak now?
Ryan Ferguson.
yes.
Cool.
No.
Mine did for a little bit.
Peter's did for a little while. He was
This
wearing
one?
sneakers.
But then
And
I
tennis
burned
shoes,
them
and I
in a
was
fire.
like,
and they
why?
stopped squeaking.
Yeah. It's like a
What?
sheer
Let's
man thing.
Press pause.
Mm. What are we pausing?
That's what we're calling this episode. It's a sheer man thing, episode 2.
Well,
Done.
I thought we were
down.
going to call it Ballin' on a Budget.
Oh, I do like balling on a
Oh.
budget. I like that.
That's
Balling
good
on a
too.
budget while eating
That's like this
chicken nuggets.
podcast.
But we didn't really
It's
talk
too
about
long.
like how to ball on a budget. We just
Oh, I can tell you how to ball on a budget.
You just let
Okay.
Rachel take over your finances, and she'll let you know what to do with them.
please
So
do.
funny enough,
Your wife is good at it.
she has nothing to do with our finances. I do 100% of it. Shout out,
Oh.
Rach. Stay at home
She's doing
mom.
a ton of
Whoop,
other
whoop.
stuff.
Well, Rachel has her own little side gig,
Yeah,
her little side
Yeah.
hustle. None of that money goes into our
she
income.
tithes it all.
So she does tithe it, but I don't know what she does with that money. She came to me like 3 years ago and she's like, I want to make rulers. Rulers, like growth rulers. Like you
Yeah.
can hang them in your home.
They're like 6 foot tall.
Yeah. You can measure your kids, and if you move homes, you can take the ruler with you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's smart.
And
That
so
is
she started this little business, and I thought, okay, you're gonna make like $50 a month. That doesn't need to go in the income, monthly income. Spend it on whatever you want. Well, then she bought this decal maker to make the numbers for the rulers. Then she got an idea. I'm a graphic designer. I'm gonna use this decal machine for other stuff, and that's when it exploded. So we got like a doctor's bill like 6 months ago for like $1,000, and she looked at me and she goes, "I'll pay for it." Mary,
Whoa.
you need to pick that up.
Ooh.
So she looked at me and said, "I'll pay for it." And I go, "What do you mean?" She goes,
Ooh.
I'll pay for it from the Etsy shop." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "How much money do you have?" And she's like, "I have enough."
Wow.
I was like, "Rachel, this is great.
Man.
Keep making
This is
stickers.
great.
Maybe I can stop working and
That's cool.
you can do your thing." It'd be great.
She is an awesome entrepreneur. Entrepreneur?
Entrepreneur. Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Anything
hustles.
she has done that I know about
Right.
has just done really well.
Yeah.
Which is not, I know a lot of people that try.
Well, especially when you're with the kids all day, you put them down at 7:30, and then the clock starts.
Yeah.
So
She's a
Yeah.
hard worker.
I have a lot of respect for entrepreneurs because
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
whole
I wouldn't know the
realm,
first thing.
yeah, I have no idea where to even begin.
I'm really good on a budget, but I don't know how to be a businessman.
No.
And that has been Jen and I doing this thing together has been so good. Like, because she's got that mind and she can go after things, and I'll stand behind her and be like, okay, this is how we make it happen. But to be an actual entrepreneur, I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's go get a 9 to 5.
Yeah. So are you doing whole fitness now for like your job? What do you do?
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's whole fitness.
It's whole fitness.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe we should get whole fitness mugs and we sip from those. And that's kind of our first.
Do you have merch? Does Whole Fitness have?
Yeah, we do.
merch?
Whole Fitness should then, because we sponsored them on our podcast, we
I
should
don't think
get.
that's how it works.
No.
We don't sponsor anybody.
I don't
No,
think he
we
knows
do.
that.
Sponsoring looks
No.
like giving someone money.
No,
No,
they
we-
sponsor us.
Yes.
Because when you're a sponsor, they give
All right,
you
that's what I
money.
mean.
Yeah.
But then what do we get in return? We should get something from Whole Fitness.
So you're
you
gonna ask
you
for
still don't
money.
understand it.
Yes,
So-
I do. If we're advertising them, we should gain something from that.
Right.
But they're
That's
not
why-
asking us to advertise with them.
I'm asking right now.
We're like
Mary?
Chick-fil-A.
Ask Mary. She works
Shout out
for 'em.
Chick-fil-A. Now give us
We're
free
a nonprofit.
sandwiches.
It's like it's a non-profit. They're
No, that's not how the
nonprofits.
world works, Tim. I'm
It
sorry.
should.
Savage.
Can you talk to Jen?
It's a non-profit. There are no profits. That's what non-profit means.
Then how are you working for them?
Ooh.
Well, I'm just like for you, there's not a profit.
Oh,
Fair enough.
We're not
Fair
little
enough.
Rachels.
Okay, Mary, tell us what is the greatest thing going on in your life right now?
Right now, Christmas.
Yes.
Y'all,
Yes.
I
yes. Yes.
love Christmas.
Mm.
My house, it looks like Christmas threw up in there.
Yo, same.
Can we get an
No.
Instagram just to put pictures of my
Dude.
house up? Can we do
You have
that?
an
Are we
Instagram,
gonna
right?
do a colliding
Oh, yeah.
forward Instagram?
Nice.
I don't know.
Yeah, we are.
We are. All right,
Yeah,
Peter.
we are.
Peter, you make
Okay.
that happen today.
Wait. I
Whoa.
feel like
And pictures of my Christmas throw up. And,
And-
y'all, these houses.
Go ahead, cut me off. It's fine.
you go, Peter.
I was just gonna on that like social media train.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, for all you
Yeah.
listening and watching, we are now on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. So just search for Colliding Forward.
Yeah.
And we're right
and
there, so-
if you're watching the YouTube video, how about this? We'll put the links to the podcast, the Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. We'll put those links in the description if you want to find it
Swipe up.
on there.
That's not.
That's Instagram.
No.
I think.
How about you just let us handle this?
Swipe right.
Just keep in mind how old you are, Tim.
Tinder.
Ugh!
Oh,
Sorry.
Oh,
It's all very confusing. I don't know where to swipe anymore.
There's just a lot of swiping.
I don't like the way that sounds. That makes me uncomfortable. I don't
I
like
don't know
that.
if I
Do we
like
have-
the word
do-
swipe. Hold on.
swipe.
I don't know if I like that word.
I mean, once you say
Swipe.
it like over and over,
Swipe.
yeah, it sounds bad.
Yeah,
No.
that's any word though.
All right, so
Yes.
thank you for the social media shout out.
Hey, you're welcome.
Back to Mary. Christmas threw up in your house.
Threw up everywhere.
Yeah.
I went to the woods, and I have an issue with height.
Mm.
I'm about 5'7". I think I'm about 5'11".
That's about how tall I am.
No, okay, no, you're not.
I'm 5'11".
Yeah, I'm 5'11".
I'm 5'11".
No, you're not.
So
I'm
we're
jumping
all
on
the
this
same
train.
height. But so I went to the woods. I didn't want to pay for a Christmas tree this year, so I just went to the woods,
Oh, I saw this.
and
It's like Charlie Brown Christmas.
I just found a tree, and I thought this is about the size of my living room. I don't know how tall it is, but it is shoved in that corner, and the
Yeah.
branches are just like crumpled up against the ceiling.
It's hilarious. It's so
I
Mary
love
McKenzie.
it. I love it so much. And then I went to a little
Speaking
like
of frugal.
oh, that's
Yeah.
true. Somebody told me one time, they said you were meant to be poor.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Thanks.
No, I think.
That,
what they
I
were-
think that's a compliment.
I think
no,
it
I
was a
think what they were
compliment.
trying
I
to say
think that's-
was, you make poor look good.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought you were gonna
I'll totally
say
take
you
it.
make poor decisions.
yeah, that's where I thought
So
that was going.
savage.
Sometimes.
But
Yeah.
carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of what you got going on right now. You're
Yeah.
excited about Christmas,
I
which,
love
by the
it.
way, I have two friends here in Greenville that started a podcast called Deck the Hall, or is it Deck the Hallmark podcast?
Oh, I've
About
heard of
Hallmark-
that. You
Hallmark Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Daniel Thompson, who I grew up with at Southside Christian School,
Mm-hmm.
who's the principal at Shannon Forest Christian School. Brandon Gray,
Yeah.
who's the student pastor at Summit Church, who we've had here for Deeper Weekend several times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't know that third guy. They call him Panda. But they started a podcast that they were going to watch every Christmas movie that Hallmark puts out and then
Yo.
have a podcast on each one of the movies. Good Morning America had them on.
Shut up.
Yeah, they were on Good Morning
Whoa.
America. It's blown up. Candace, whatever her name is from Full House, wanted to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's just,
That's cool.
I know.
Yeah.
I think we can take them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to start talking about Hallmark movies.
Yeah. That's
No, that's a
the ticket.
huge commitment. Like, there's so many.
I wouldn't want to
And
start.
my parents love Hallmark movies.
I can see Brian being all about those.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And every time I walk in the living room, they have a Hallmark Christmas movie on.
Oh.
And I'm just like, that's pretty adorable.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
It's sad.
but then I try, I'm like, maybe I should watch one with them. And then I can't do
No,
it.
not at
I
all.
can't, I'm like, this is too much. They're all the same movie, too.
Okay,
I love
so
it.
what's like hardest, craziest, Like, what's something vulnerable you can share?
Oh,
Did it stop, Peter?
It stopped.
Okay, just so everyone
Just
knows.
start
that's
it back
listening,
again.
You know, with audio, we have tried to videotape these podcasts for the last 2 episodes, and we just don't know how to work a camera.
Well, we do, but the problem is it has a time limit of how long it can record for.
Well,
And then it,
I don't-
that was the last
Peter,
camera's problem. That was my
You need
camera's
to
problem.
buy this podcast for Christmas, a camera.
Whoa, how about you buy it? How about Rachel?
Yeah, how about the person with like the salary buys it?
Yeah, but I think if you're living at home and you're able to keep 90% of your income, you're pretty rich.
Mm,
yeah.
got a
no.
If I lived at home, I'd be eating all their groceries. I don't have to pay for utilities. We know you're not paying for your car insurance.
Whoa.
I'm paying for my money.
I don't believe you. So you guys have tons of money.
I don't
Mary
think
and I, we
that's
have-
true.
We're poor.
No one's paying our
Wait a
bills.
minute. Wait.
So we decided as 50% that Peter's
The
gonna.
older one.
You know, I think I'm on board as long as it's not me. Yeah, Peter can do it. Yeah.
See, that's 75%.
75%. You've been outvoted, Peter.
And you don't have a mic right now, so you don't.
You can't even defend yourself.
I love it. Okay, Mary, hit
Yeah,
us.
we're gonna have to figure that out next time.
What's the hardest thing you've got going on right now? And you don't have to,
Yeah.
but that's what we did last week. So
Yeah.
I'm giving you a chance to catch up.
Man, I think, gosh. So
It's about to get real.
Yeah.
I'm such a believer in vulnerability, and then I have to do it, and I'm like, get hives. Yeah, I think it's become pretty normal to have like hard family situations, and have just had that since I was a little girl, and so just see my dad at the holidays, and so this like Thanksgiving to New Year's stretch just gets tough. And just knowing, okay, what are good boundaries? And also, like, we don't get to treat people however we want to.
Right.
So,
We're laughing at the camera, not
Yeah.
you.
The camera shut off.
The camera shut off again.
Guys, I swear next time
You'll get it.
I'll get it.
Okay, all right.
All right.
I'm working hard on the audio, which still is fine, but
Yeah, sounded
That's
good
my
last week.
excuse.
I'm so
Okay.
sorry that you were.
Yeah, this is
I'm really sorry.
I'm really sorry, guys.
Yeah.
So I get
Back
hives
to
when
Mary.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be my hard.
So what has God been teaching you through that?
Just to love people. I think like my heart. What?
Tim, stop making
awful.
faces. Like anytime Mary
You're
talks about
terrible
something
at this.
serious.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're making a face
In my
at me.
defense, I was listening. I look over at Peter, and he looks like he's about to giggle.
That's just Peter's
That's
face.
just Peter's
All right.
face.
I
Yeah.
have to get used to that then.
I
Yeah.
can't look
It
at him while we
tickles me.
If I look, I'm not looking at Peter because I know I'll lose it if I look at him.
Peter has the happiest eyes I have ever seen.
Right?
I feel like
legitimately.
the Colliding Forward new logo shouldn't be those 2 circles. It should just be Peter's face.
In those two circles.
In those two circles.
No, a third
It's like
circle and
Tim
it's
and
Peter's.
Mary in one circle colliding with Cameron and Pete in the other one. So okay, so
Peter
loving
happy eyes.
people. So
Yeah, like it's so easy for me. I'm a firstborn, go-getter.
you're a
can
twin.
make things happen. Yeah,
Too.
I have a twin,
John.
John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What up, John?
Shout out to John.
Yeah.
But I can make things happen, and it's super easy for me to hide behind that, or easy for me to hide behind. I'm spiritual enough that people would accept. Like,
Right.
yeah, Mary's good, and she loves Jesus, and she loves enough people. And God has really been working in my heart, like, to just, like, it's not good enough. And to really, I had a situation last year with my dad where I just felt like the Father kept saying, like, hey, you need to go in. Like, we don't talk at the holidays. He doesn't really interact with us. We don't interact with him, and it's always been fine. And last year, just really felt like the Father say, hey, when you go, like, go up and just ask him how his Christmas is and just talk to him. And so just was really wrestling with the Lord the whole time I was at my parents' house and didn't want to do it. And at one point walked up the stairs to go up and then like turned back around, which sounds so silly, like being a grown woman, not being able to go in and talk to my dad. But was walking back down the stairs and just felt like the Father say, like, you feel like I'm asking you to do this, like, to be productive and to check one more thing off of your spiritual list, or for your dad's sake, or all of these things. And he said, I want you to know how I love you. And if you put up these walls, if you refuse to love certain people, then you're believing that I don't love you if you go too far, or you're believing that you protect you better than I protect you by refusing to interact with these certain people. So I went upstairs and went in, and I felt like the Father was saying, like, pray for your dad, which we don't do. So walked in and I was having a conversation with the Lord and just saying, like, if this is about you and me, God, I don't know that I can pray for my dad. Like, I'm not there yet. And just felt like the Father say, well, why don't you ask him to pray for you? So I asked him, and it was one of the most healing moments, I think, in my, like, in this whole walk with my dad.
Right.
Was just that, having him pray over me and for me, and there's still boundaries and walls and still learning to love him, but like that would be my hard
right
thing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's hard because especially with parents, the entitlement of, you should be doing this for me. You should be caring because you're my dad, or...
Well, but even, like, totally, and not even realizing, I have that entitlement. And I think in one way, like, we get to validate that and say, that's true, that's how God set it up. And in another way, like, we get to shove grace back up the family tree when it wasn't passed down to us. And I do want to, like, just honor my dad and say, like, he knows the Bible better than anyone I've ever met.
Yeah.
Wasn't
he a missionary?
He was an evangelist,
Oh, yeah.
Full-time ministry.
I saw him at Moe's.
Yeah, with my mom.
Like a year ago, I think. Yeah.
He's been super impactful in a lot of people's lives. But they didn't think they could have kids. They got married, like, weird circumstances. So, like, there was a lot in the family, but, like, outside of the family and ministry, like, my dad is impactful and I think really does have a heart to do right and to love people, and but just with the tools that he has had a hard time with family. Well, but I feel like we all have that thing where it's like, oh yeah, this is the
Well, and Satan wants us to buy the lie, like, if my mom or dad would just do this or give me this or provide this for me, then I would be whole. Yeah. Then I would be complete, or then I would be happy or satisfied. And
it's not true.
And then you do get it, and you're still longing or broken, and so it's understanding. Yeah, you can grieve that. I think there is a healthy grieve, but then secondly, you can also say, but that's not what's going to make me happy or make me whole. I wish that could be a part of my life. But even if it isn't, God is good. He loves me. And obedience, I think, at the end of the day, is success for Mary. You know? Like, I think that's true for all of us. No matter what it is we're going through.
Yeah. Like, if we obey at the end of the day.
Right. Like, if you went and prayed for your dad or spoke with him, like...
Yeah.
Well, those two exist. They coexist. Like, I think we want one or the other. Like, I want to be angry and grieving, or I want everything that I envision and to just be happy, and to say, like, there are spaces where we are angry and grieve and validate that, and we obey and we love, and they coexist.
Yeah, and I have a problem. Like, I always think it's, like, my dad's responsibility to love me first. You know what I mean?
Totally. Like, I will respond to your love.
Exactly.
But I can't initiate loving you.
And it's, like, totally not true.
Well,
you know?
So I feel like if I can just tell this, and if it's too long, we can cut stuff out.
They love long podcasts.
Oh, yeah. Okay. If your podcast is less than 2 hours, I don't want to listen to it.
I feel the cough coming on.
Do you need a cough?
Do you have a cough drop? Does anyone have a cough drop?
No.
I left my cough drop in my car. Sorry.
Well, if everyone's okay with the occasional cough, I feel very insecure about it.
It's okay.
I think it's fine.
Okay.
I think it's fine.
It'll
Go
be
ahead,
okay.
So I was reading this story about the guy that got forgiven tons and tons and then would not forgive the other guy. And it was just was reading it this week and thinking about getting to interact with my dad this holiday season. And was just saying man, Dad, what, to the Father, why can I not extend that same grace? I feel like I understand that you've given me grace and so I was thinking about that story in another way and just thinking the guy that forgave the $1 million, he had the capacity to forgive the $1 million. He could absorb that and it wouldn't diminish his value or take away from his kids eating or all of these things. And then the guy that forgave the $20, if he had the ability to forgive that and it wouldn't diminish, it wouldn't take away anything, sure. But what if he needed that $20 to make rent? Or what if he needed that $20 to put bread on the table? And just saying I think we have to understand what's in our bank account to be able to truly forgive people and to know when I say I forgive you or when I interact with you or I initiate loving you or reigniting a friendship or all of these things, I have enough in the bank that it's going to be okay. You are not shortchanging me. In God's kingdom, he doesn't run out of resources. So I have resources to extend this to you.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times, I just think in my own, even just physically, this is going to make me tired or this is going to give me a physical headache or.
It just made me think of shovels. No matter how big your shovel is, God's shovel is much larger.
Yeah.
You're giving and you're thinking it's a lot of work and it's
And if you think about the stories, even the Christmas story, Joseph, Mary went to Joseph before Joseph had the revelation and would keep Mary. And so sometimes we step out and we use our shovel and just believe God's shovel is bigger.
right.
And know that, just historically, he shows up after we start the project, right? To give us an opportunity to faith. Because if he showed up before, that's not faith.
Yeah, no. Totally.
So, yeah, those are good.
Yeah. No, I'm sure we could talk for another hour about that parent dynamic and it's so interesting too because you've got the younger like Peter and Cameron, you're not kids but you're not adults. So that's a weird thing. You've got Mary who's you said 26? 27. But then it's the female side, which that relationship between female and dad I think would be very different with male and dad.
Yeah.
And then you have me I've been out from mom and dad since 18, but now I am a dad.
Yeah.
You know, and it's one of the things I was thinking was sometimes Judah and Levi will do things to show the Father's love to me in new ways. And so it's maybe God has given you an opportunity to not look at it as dad, daughter, which it always will be, but now it's kind of even playing field.
Yeah.
He's just brother in Christ.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
Yeah.
But that's not to diminish. He'll always be your earthly dad, and there's those dynamics. And
When I will say this too, I feel like that's what the Father has been creating. But I feel too, there have been other men that have stepped up and really fathered me. And so there's been that safe place where it's I don't need to ask for a father relationship from him right now. We can be on an even playing field, and I can just lob grace at him and receive the love that he gives in the way that he is capable of giving it.
Right.
You know, So I think that's totally.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Thanks for.
That's not easy. I mean, we do appreciate that. I really do. I can't speak for them, but
No, I do.
Totally.
and we kind of put you on the spot. I don't even know if we told you we were going to ask you that.
No.
I think the question was, were we going to process how do you hear from the Spirit?
It sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe we can do that next week.
Or this week.
Yeah, doesn't matter to me.
If we want to do it this week.
Sure.
I mean, I have a lot to talk about too.
Petey, what's on your mind?
I want to take a moment and talk about YouTube Rewind.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Just because I think it was interesting.
YouTube Rewind.
Did you watch it, Tim?
Do you guys know what that?
Yes.
Did you watch it, Tim?
So I pay the $9 a month to not get commercials, and I think a benefit of that is YouTube Rewind.
You know you can download stuff
No.
and watch it, like YouTube stuff. Do you know about this?
Like a YouTube video?
Yeah, and keep it on your phone, and you don't have to use data.
Oh
I
yeah,
have
if you
unlimited
pay
data.
for the.
I don't.
Savage.
And I have
Whoa.
YouTube TV, which, by the way, is the greatest deal ever. I love it.
Yeah, that's
That's
good.
cool.
Hold on, now wait a second. I do want to talk about YouTube Rewind, but YouTube Television gives you 5 family member spots.
So you're offering one?
What I'm saying is it's $40 a month,
Oh.
and if you get 5 or 6 people in on the plan, it's only like $7 a person a month.
No.
No thanks.
All right. So what is YouTube Rewind, Peter?
Is this another shout out to YouTube
Yeah,
TV?
we're not gonna
We're
get
sponsoring
you.
We're gonna
YouTube.
sponsor them. We're sponsoring.
You sound like such an old man when you say that.
I
Like
know.
you don't know what you're saying.
that time I was doing it because it was funny. Not 'cause
Okay,
I was
Grandpa.
for real.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Nice.
So what is YouTube Rewind?
So you haven't seen it?
No, I'm asking you. What is it?
Oh yeah. So it's basically the video that YouTube makes at the end of the year, and it highlights all the fun that was on YouTube in the past year.
Yeah.
Oh, like what was trending?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like back in, I mean, they've been doing it for a few years, like 5 years now.
Yeah, it started in
no,
like
longer
20,
than that.
Way
2014,
longer than that.
2013. It was, yeah.
I
one
can't
of
do
those
math, so however long that
He's
is.
homeschooled.
It's like, it's been about 5 years.
Shout out Rhonda.
I
Ooh.
love Rhonda.
Yeah, so like Baby Shark
yeah,
was in
so
it.
Baby Shark was on there.
See,
So back in
we're
the
hip.
No.
that's the point. So it used to
Sorry.
be
That's really on me.
That's
You're right.
just you. I don't want it on
it
that.
used to be cool. Like it used to feature like good YouTubers that like everybody liked.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly.
Yeah.
I never liked it, but like, I just thought it was pretty unnecessary. I mean, I get
Yeah.
it, but
It
it's
used-
basically like this big montage of
Right.
a bunch of like YouTubers. They get like the YouTube corporate gets a bunch of like creators, YouTubers, popular YouTubers to come and then just be in like a really long 8-minute music video that like
Okay.
mashes up all the popular songs. And
I
then,
like that word montage.
Better than
Yeah.
swipe.
Yeah,
Ugh.
much better than Swipe.
Gross.
And so, you know, yeah.
Swipe.
It
But
was rough,
but it's
though.
it wasn't like always. It never was amazing, but it's only gotten cringier.
Oh, yeah.
And worse.
So
Big
what?
time.
Why did you want to talk about it? What about it?
I just, it's just funny to me. Like, I mean, you really have to go out and watch.
Okay,
Yeah.
but how does it start? This
How
is
does
the
it?
issue.
Oh,
Cameron, can you demonstrate how
So,
it starts off in the first
we
2
open
seconds?
with the YouTuber of the year, Will Smith. This is real.
Like getting jiggy with it, Will
He's
Smith?
not-
Will
Yes.
Smith. He
Fresh
daily
Prince
he
of Bel-Air,
vlogs.
Will
He
Smith?
he vlogs on YouTube now.
I did not know this.
Yes.
Nobody did.
Let's ask him to come on.
So he starts it with
Na 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 na.
Tim.
Na 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 na.
Please stop.
Tim.
Getting jiggy with it. Sorry.
Okay. He starts it with
We gotta
In West Philadelphia.
Listen, we gotta monetize
Stop.
this.
Sorry.
come on.
Oh,
Yeah, copyright.
make some money.
We're not gonna make any money.
Balling on the budget.
Get Rachel involved. We will.
The YouTube Rewind starts with Will Smith going, "Yeah, it's rewind time," and then he says, "If I controlled Rewind, I would want Fortnite and Marquez Brownlee." Now you know what Fortnite is, right,
A
Tim?
video game.
Yes.
Yeah, that stupid dance that Jack
There's that.
Henry always does.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, there's-
they have
there are
all
many
the they have all the
dances.
dances.
Yeah, I don't know the
all of
second
Rich,
thing you said.
Marquez Brownlee. I don't watch his videos, but he
I
does
did
like
for
tech,
a while, but
Marquez
stuff.
Brownlee.
tech reviews, like iPhone reviews.
Oh, cool.
he's
Okay.
like the biggest tech.
Yeah,
YouTuber
he's
right now.
huge.
Nice. All right.
So he's decent, but
Like, hey
Yeah.
guys, I just bought the new iPhone. Here's what I think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. He
Yeah.
reviews technology pretty much, and then so yeah, it had a lot of Fortnite dances, but I think the biggest thing, there were not very many creators. Like they didn't really highlight any of the, like this one just felt really pointless.
Yeah.
I think was what a lot of people, like Will Smith opening it. Like Will Smith, he's not a
Listen,
YouTuber
As
really.
a child of the '90s, that
That is
makes
so
me
boring.
happy.
Yeah, but you.
I
don't-
love Will Smith.
But you're not a child of the YouTube, really.
Right, like
you didn't like
Like what
like
y'all
most
are
of
saying
my
is
life.
YouTube
The last
is
5 years, I've watched YouTube and kept up with what's going on for the
right.
most part. But like, Will Smith is not a YouTuber.
So if it was like
Okay.
a '90s throwback, it'd be fine.
Sure.
So you
Yeah,
feel
but it
he's
Please
an-
get
he's
Will
an
Smith.
imposter is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
And like, here's the
just came
biggest
on the
thing
scene.
with it is
Yeah.
that they only chose creators that weren't at all controversial, you know, that could like represent, like YouTube wants to be viewed as like on the same level as like cable or Netflix or Hulu. Like they want that
Okay.
kind of
Status.
respect. But like when you have like a platform where literally anybody can create anything they want, you know, like it's never going to be the same. You're going to get a lot of like lower bar content,
Right.
but then you're also going to
Like
get a lot
us.
of like,
Shout out.
yeah, you're also going to get a lot of like things like when you give people a platform to say whatever they want, like you're going to get like some offensive, controversial things.
Right.
And it's like, but that's a big part of the website, you know, like they didn't even
America.
feature, they didn't even feature the most popular YouTuber. Like
Can I tell you what my favorite thing to watch on YouTube is?
I don't want to know, but go ahead.
All right.
Baby Shark.
No. I like to watch First Amendment audits.
Oh, okay.
What?
It just shows how old
What?
you are.
I do. They're called First Amendment audits, and I'm not going to explain what it is.
Sweet.
You can
Great.
Check it out later. It is the most interesting thing to me right now. Shout out First
Awesome.
Amendment.
So
Cool.
I love it.
everybody, so YouTube Rewind, the video has almost 8 million dislikes.
Wow.
Over now. Over 8 million.
Probably over 8
I
million.
checked this morning.
Yeah, everybody is very upset about it
Hmm.
because
of Will Smith?
No, not really because of Will Smith. He was my favorite part.
Oh, that's
You know,
he made it.
if,
saying,
if my alarm could be yeah, it's wake up time or something like that. I don't know. I'd never be upset ever, but it was honestly more just like YouTube felt very fake. It felt very corporate, which is just not what YouTube is. It's a platform for like the everyday kind of person, you know? Like, and then, but you get all these like corporate brandable, moldable people that really like have just like the personality that YouTube can brand really well.
Right.
Like you can tell they're just like getting the most uncontroversial, you know, mild creators they can. And they're just trying to give them like this. They're trying to be on the same level as like I said, a Netflix or anything like that. But like you don't have producers on YouTube that can like say, okay, yeah, you can post this. Yeah, no, you can't. So it's gonna be more controversial. And if that's a part of your website, like showcase like those creators that people are actually watching. Like there's a whole thing.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Well, okay, but
I knew you wouldn't. I
do
mean,
y'all? But I feel like too. So they're letting people do that, looking at people saying, "Hey, you can make the choice to upload crappy or controversial, whatever."
yeah.
But we, as we have
Right.
chosen not to showcase you.
Yeah.
just-
And that's
But then
Something-
what are you showcasing?
like what's the point of
Like
YouTube
if you want to showcase
Rewind?
what's gone on this year,
Do you know
Right.
what? The whole authenticity thing drives me crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just let them make their choice.
let YouTube make its choice.
Yeah.
Corporate,
Like,
you mean,
yeah.
for YouTube Rewind?
Yeah.
I get it. I get that. But then it's like,
They're showcasing creators, but they're not showcasing creators at the same time.
right.
Because they're not showcasing crappy controversial.
But it's not
It's
even
not
crappy. Controversial meaning like they swear.
It's crappy.
Like to YouTube, like if you swear or like you know,
So you're saying
like
you
YouTube's
want-
definition of controversial is
I
not.
feel like the way it should be decided is by hits.
Yeah, and YouTube
Like, if
That's
doesn't
what I'm
have
saying.
that.
And that's great. So y'all go start YouTube. That's not what YouTube corporate has decided to use as
Right.
their-
She's
And
saying
that's
if
what
you don't like
everybody-
it, take your ball and go home.
Sure,
Yeah,
and
that
that's
annoys
fair.
Me. Like when you look at somebody, you're like, well, I don't like what you're doing. Well, go do something that you do like.
Right.
Leave them
Dang,
alone.
shots
But-
fired.
Wow.
And this
Is
is
that
this
mean?
is fair. This
No.
is
Is that too
fair.
harsh?
Of course not.
Totally fair. But YouTube is honestly like,
This is a review of the review. Of
I
the
mean, pretty
review.
much.
the reviews.
But
Yeah.
here's where it gets dangerous: is that this is a reflection of like how YouTube has been treating these big creators.
Okay.
Like they pull ads on them if they're controversial, like all this
So
stuff.
they can't make money.
So like they say you can upload whatever you want, but like if this is like someone's livelihood,
You get
and like
penalized.
you get penalized for
But you do understand Netflix and cable companies do that as well.
right. But what you can get away with on Netflix, you can't get away with on YouTube even.
So go to Netflix.
but you can't. Like it's not that simple. Like someone like a
Do
YouTuber
better.
who
Start
makes
your own
Mary,
YouTube.
that's not that's
like,
not a valid
I-
argument. Just like be better.
Yeah, it is simplifying it a bit, maybe. But like, I don't know. Like, I'm just thinking
No.
of YouTubers who like they want to be genuine or they want to like just say what they think in a lot of ways, or they
And
want to
that's
make
what YouTube
content
was
that they
for.
like, right?
And now-
yeah, YouTube's gotten this thing where they want to brand it a certain way.
So how would it help them? YouTube's a business.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, they have to make money.
Mm-hmm.
So if YouTube makes a decision that's best for them, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
sure. But then like don't claim
don't
to
know if it
be
is
don't
best for
claim to
them.
be like the platform for the people if you're gonna screw over
So
everybody.
you think it's going to backfire?
in the place of
Yeah.
being
Okay, I
the-
see
I
what you're
think-
saying, Cameron.
I
Yeah.
think it's just going to get increasingly worse, and people are just going to turn to something else. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I would not be surprised to see another medium.
Well, like what
And that's
Mary
what
is
I'm
saying.
saying.
About.
Carpe diem.
Do it.
Seize the day and make
it.
YouTube 2.0,
Yeah.
where you don't penalize crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm totally for that. Honestly, I would love that. And like, but any other, like even Vimeo, which is like the biggest other YouTube, like
sucks for
it
some
sucks.
reason.
Yeah, for some reason, like
Vimeo?
YouTube's
It's just
just
not
so
good. I don't know
YouTube.
I feel like their videos are better quality.
They claim that, but they're not actually. Like, you can upload videos on YouTube
Yeah.
in 8K, like the
But more
most
like
ridiculous
the more
resolution ever.
filmmaker mindset.
Right.
Everybody wants to go to Vimeo for like filmmaking,
Right.
and like short films.
Yeah.
Vimeo's the place for that.
I still love YouTube.
Yeah.
No, I love.
If I could have every minute back of my life that I've wasted on YouTube
My phone does
Oof.
this thing now where it tells me how much time I've spent on
on
each
the
app.
screen.
I hate it.
Oh,
I
it's-
hate
there's
it.
a-
I think
there's
it's
a
like,
big
you spent
gap, yeah.
9 hours. And you're like, oh, good for the week. It's like a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough to look
Is that
at.
possible?
Yeah.
Sad.
And then what YouTube did, this is what everybody really got mad about, because nobody really cares that their favorite creator wasn't represented, even though that is a valid reason why people, I think, got upset. It was they took a break in the middle of it to shout out these very vague, large groups of people. So they shouted out all women this year. So they said, let's get a shout out to all women.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, but you really want to shout out all, like, it's just vague. Like, what's the point of shouting out all women? Because you know there were several women that did things not shout out worthy this year. You know what I mean? You know, like,
It's just a very broad. Like,
it's very,
Yeah.
very
Let's-
broad.
let's shout out to
So it's
humanity
like
for this
they're
Yeah.
year.
almost trying.
Look at that. I think we should shift gears to what's in the news now in Greenville.
Oh, no.
I just opened up my Facebook app.
Why?
Hey, this is
'Cause
your
Tim
brother's
can't
pastor.
contribute to this
This
conversation.
is Peter's brother's pastor. He got a Lamborghini.
Which
Oh.
brother?
Caleb.
Caleb goes to Relentless Church?
He's a
Caleb is
worship
on
pastor there
worship.
now.
Yeah.
He got a Lamborghini.
He just started going, and he's
What?
already a
Yeah.
worship pastor.
So it
Wait,
says
wait.
this, in an Instagram video, John Gray of Relentless Church, this is the Greenville News, is seen giving his wife the keys to a $200,000 Lamborghini.
Savage.
Can we shout out to pastors that give? Can we shout out to men that give their
Okay.
wives nice gifts?
Yeah, because he's not
I-
balling on a budget.
No.
Homeboy's
No.
just balling.
He should listen to this episode.
Yeah.
I don't know what he'd learn, but
Say,
He
how about
should
you
listen.
sell
We
your
should sponsor
Lamborghini
this
and
episode.
give to
Way to
charity?
go, tithers of Relentless
Yeah.
Church.
Look
Yeah.
what
I mean,
you've done.
good for you, but it rubs me the wrong
Jesus
way.
loved his Lamborghini. He was in it all
Oh,
the time.
I
Okay.
hate this. Like, dude,
Okay.
it-
But y'all, I mean, how? Okay.
That's
He did have a pretty high-end camel. So that
But
you
this
can
is
compare.
the thing. Like Mary wasted perfume on Jesus's feet. Like he's
Yeah.
not against expensive, nice things.
No,
And even us, like, how many pairs of shoes do y'all have?
one.
one.
2.
Okay.
I'm a
okay.
minimalist. You
I'm
asked
only
the wrong
excessive
guy.
They're
one.
coming apart at the soul.
Okay.
How many shoes
You've
do you
asked the
have?
wrong
How-
people.
I how have one
I was
sweatshirt.
gonna say,
like-
how many
I
meals
have like
have you eaten
7
today? But
collared
y'all, none of y'all
shirts.
have probably eaten today.
No.
Nope.
I
Oh,
had
okay,
crackers
okay.
out of the staff kitchen.
Well, y'all are holy, and he's
And
not,
you're doing
so
the best out of the
moving
three of
on.
But I'm going to Genghis Grill for lunch with Matt Arnold.
Oh, that's
Can we
nice.
come?
Are you paying for us?
I think Matt's paying for me.
Can we get? never mind.
Sweet.
I'd love for
I'm
you
in.
to come. I don't know.
Is he
Whoa.
single and rich?
He's engaged to Brittany DeChant.
Oh.
He's a really, yeah, he's a sweet one.
He's a
I didn't know his
stud.
last name.
Matt Arnold. Or no, Matthew. Excuse
Matthew.
me. Matthew.
Yeah.
Matthew Arnold. Sorry.
Can I tell you this? I have this prejudice against people named Matthew. I've never met a nice one.
What about the one in the Bible?
Didn't like him. He was a tax collector.
Oh, that's true. He was a tax
Yeah.
collector. Yeah,
Dang,
he
shots
sold
fired
out
at
his
Matthew in the
people.
Bible.
No, is that not the weirdest thing though?
He sold out his people for a profit.
But then he turned it around.
Hmm. He did.
He
I
did.
mean, when Jesus called
turned it
him,
around.
but
Yeah.
Didn't we all turn it around when Jesus called us?
Shut up.
Ooh.
But yeah, let's talk about the Lamborghini thing.
Okay.
Because I think I'm being too judgmental already.
Probably.
Like it rubs me the wrong way big time.
Yeah.
When I see a
Why?
person in ministry driving a Lamborghini.
why? Because
it
if
reminds
he wasn't
me-
in ministry, we'd have no problem with it.
If it was.
Well,
If
you
he
know,
wasn't in ministry,
you
we'd have
say
no
that,
problem with
and
it.
I almost would, but not for the same reasons.
Yeah.
Like, just why get a Lamborghini? I get it, it's fun, but then it's like
Well, that's your perspective.
that's
too.
my perspective. But like,
Minimalist.
I think the
Well-
big thing, is like, you know, like how much of that, like, if you're in ministry, I don't know.
I think
And
If
you're
in
making
ministry,
the
you should be
income
poor
yeah, well,
and
not
sad
poor, not
and
poor,
pitiful.
not at all. But if you're making enough money to buy a Lamborghini, like maybe you should take a little bit less of people's money that they're giving to the
Why?
church
well, I
to
think
do something better.
I can't.
Okay,
Well-
if I knew that
Ooh.
my $20 was going to fund my pastor's Lamborghini, I wouldn't give to the church. I just wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like if I knew, hey, this is going so that you can buy a Lamborghini, you know?
So you tithe. Okay, never mind. Go
I do
ahead.
tithe. I do
Okay.
tithe. Yes.
You say something, Tim.
Well, my take is I think leaders in the church are they held to a different standard.
Yes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's not right
Well, scripture would even say they are,
in certain
Mm-hmm.
areas, but we have decided
right?
certain areas where we're going to hold them to a higher standard, and it's not okay.
I would totally agree. Earthly, what's the word I'm looking for? Like if they're earthly standards, then that comes and goes. I'm
Yeah.
with you.
Mm.
But I think like now, however, this is his wife, which is maybe another thing we take into consideration. Maybe it's not him. I mean, it's still his Lamborghini, but it's like when Scripture says to live humbly, to live peaceably, to live above reproach. I think you have more to lose than you do to gain. I'm not saying you can't. You can. You have the freedom to do it. I think the question is it
Yeah.
wise?
Yeah.
Can you? Yes. Is it wise and is it helpful? I think is the question.
Well, and I think that you have to, I don't know why I feel very strongly about this, but I
Yeah.
do.
I do too, and I don't have any reason to.
Isn't that
I'm in the
so
middle.
I
funny?
want a Lamborghini.
It bugs me so
I mean,
much.
we
and it
don't know. Like
shouldn't.
maybe somebody
I-
donated it for his wife. Maybe maybe
Yeah.
True,
he's
you don't
played
know the
the
whole
stock
thing.
market
We don't-
and
we don't-
he's got
yeah, we
great. Like
don't.
we don't know.
That's true.
No
and
idea.
I love the fact that as a husband, he's honoring his wife.
Sure.
Like maybe
I'm
that's
totally.
a dream
Alright.
that she's had, and he said, "You know what? I decided to marry you, so I'm gonna get behind your dreams."
Sure.
So like, let's applaud that and just say we don't know the whole story.
I agree.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
I think too, like, I think the highest standard is to love people. So one, I don't think we get to look at anybody, including men in ministry, and dishonor or defame them.
right.
We get to love them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Greenville News.
So I do want to pose a question,
God,
and this question might get controversial, especially because of Tim.
Because Mary's yelling.
No.
yeah, we
Me?
can't
But
post
what
this
do
on
you
YouTube
think?
if you.
What do you think? And I already
Nice.
think I know what you think, obviously, but about people in full-time
Oh.
ministry positions, do you
Yeah.
think that's okay? Because
Do-
we say, do you think it's okay to be, or not okay, but do you think like we should be doing ministry full-time, or do you think we should be contributing something else and ministry?
Yeah.
Like missionaries, when they go, to Bangladesh or whatever, they open a coffee shop, and then
Right.
so they're contributing something,
Yep.
and they're in ministry.
Yep.
And do you think that should be like pastors should be pastors, and also like Paul, he was a leather worker.
Yep.
Like he still worked
Yeah.
even during his ministry days.
It's a great question.
And I'm curious what you guys think, because when I see someone in full-time ministry who can buy a Lamborghini, the reason why it bugs me, I think, is because like I just wonder like,
Well, $10 says all of this money came from his TV deal with Oprah.
Or his book deal. Like,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
got
yeah,
many
totally.
things that are not
But I think
funded by
right.
tithing.
Oh, I'm with you.
But I get what you're saying, Cameron. Like,
Yeah.
it feels sacred like tithing, and if that money that we give to the church feels sacred, like just in a very particular way.
Yeah.
So I do understand what you're saying.
No, I'm with you, and I think every time that I make a paycheck from the church, I realize that's on tithe dollars, and there's no stipulations. However, I think we as pastors do have to be led by the Spirit in how we spend our money. So, for instance, does Scripture give me the freedom to drink alcohol? It does. Have I chosen not to? I just don't like spending my money on it that was given to me by the church.
Yeah.
That's why I don't do it. Now, I wouldn't put that conviction on Mary. If she made a paycheck from North Hills, I wouldn't do that on you guys.
Yeah.
Because I have to stand before the Lord and give an account for how I spend his money that he's given to me.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that, the question is, why does North Hills pay Tim? Well, it's so I can be available 24/7 to our church. So like, let's say there's a crisis happening with a member of our church, and I'm like, sorry, I'm working at Taco Bell.
Right.
I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, like we hope that we are able to give our lives to North Hills, and believe me, we're not making bank.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and in a way where we are available full time for our people to serve them.
Totally.
Sunday mornings coming, who's in control of that kind of thing. Now, you know, there are a lot of churches who, and we do have a lot of people on our staff that are elders who serve easily 20 hours a week and don't make a paycheck. And they do have their other jobs.
Yeah.
We call them lay elders. There are lay pastors. Bob Harding Sr. is someone that comes to mind who gives hours and hours and hours.
Right.
You know, had an office in our church for years.
Yeah.
Never made a paycheck.
Right.
So I think you can fall off the cliff on both sides.
Right.
You can be the $200,000 Lamborghini guy, or let's not give him a dime. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like there's an equal balance in there of $40,000 a year.
Totally.
You know? Yeah. And you can provide for your family, but also be available to your church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Peter? Because, Peter, your dad is in full-time ministry.
And now brother at
And-
Relentless Church, who's probably
he's
making
not
a
full-time.
ton.
No, he's not
He's
making
an
money.
electrician.
Yeah, he
He
has
is
a
that.
company, and he's doing great. So, that sounded like I was trying to like defend him. really
Shout out
strongly.
to Caleb's.
Like, whoa.
What's it called? Caleb's, like,
Classic wiring.
oh, I like
Classic
that.
wiring in air.
Classic wiring.
He has a sick logo.
Yeah,
It looks really nice, actually.
I think a classic rock. That's good.
Yeah, that is good.
That's some classic wiring.
All right, let's.
That's what
Tim,
I want to say about
I'm,
my
right.
life.
I'm gonna stop you there.
Sorry.
What do you think, Peter?
That's a interesting question.
We're still here.
I know.
He's thinking.
I'm
Can
thinking.
I tell you one of my very favorite things about Peter, and this might sound patronizing, it's not, but it really is he's such a good listener, like gives so much space for people to listen, and then when he answers, it's not, like I'll just throw an answer out there and like 6 months later be like, what the heck did I say?
Yeah.
But Peter is so careful how he answers and just understands that
Well,
words
he's careful
have weight.
because he's answering about his dad.
I
No,
mean,
but if this-
I
what you're
answer
saying-
about
what
you're
personal
saying is
things, and
true.
It's like, holy crap,
Yeah.
what in the world?
I
What
mean,
you're saying
I
is
doubt my
totally
dad
God
has
is
time to
holy.
listen, so it's
Mary.
fine.
Do you remember when you got an
When I said holy cow.
got an email with his low V-neck? So I would just appreciate that about you, Peter.
Thank you.
So you
Appreciate
take your
that.
time.
Way to honor him.
No, but I mean, I'm being
No,
like for real. Like
I'm with you.
I do not possess that ability to think through things super
Yeah.
well, and I just appreciate that
Thank you.
that Peter so young can do that and
That's true.
holds to that and isn't pressured by other people to be faster about it.
That's good.
It's a good
It's
trait.
a good word.
It's cool.
Now answer the question.
Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Quickly.
I think it'll start coming to me once I start talking. I don't think I'm the most informed to answer this because I'm not in ministry and I don't know extensively like what it's really like to be in ministry. But for me, like ministry is like a weird thing where it's like to call it ministry and to get a paycheck for that is like kind of weird to me. Like what's logical in my mind is like loving people and spending time with people is just life. And to call that ministry and then get a paycheck for that and then ask other people to do that when they don't have time, it's like it kind of separates the playing fields and isn't exactly fair.
Yeah.
Obviously, there have to be leaders, and like there are positions for full-time people because, I mean, that's necessary a lot of times.
Do you believe you can have both? That you can be a mixture? Like I get paid for my hours.
Sure.
And then
Yeah, and I'm a big supporter of. I mean, I love sending money like to do missions. Like my dad's a missions pastor, and I love all the partnerships that he's doing. But at the same time, I'm a big supporter of taking care of the people in your church and paying them. Like, if somebody's working 20 hours a week and not getting anything for it, that is amazing of them, but they're going to run out of steam, I think. Most people. There are some people that can do it forever. But honoring them and giving them a paycheck.
Yeah.
And just like,
So
compensating them for what they're doing.
understanding you're not super informed, and I'm not either, but like, do you think like any ministry position warrants like full-time pay, or do you think it should be like a part-time, then you go do another job that contributes something?
because there's a lot of churches that do that, like Josh Hall.
Yeah.
He's doing that.
Yeah, like
Yeah. I don't know
Shout out
because
Josh Hall.
He's a machine.
he's amazing.
I'm still
Go Josh.
mourning the loss of Josh Hall.
That's sad. I forgot your question.
So do you think like
Sorry.
do you think ministry you should ever get paid a full-time salary for a ministry position? Do you think?
I think it depends. Like, there's so many areas of ministry, and when you have a church, there's a lot of different fields that you can work in, and I think a lot of times they take more time than others. Like, different positions and jobs take more time than others, and sometimes people are, I don't know, work more than they need to, or not work more than they need to, but like they could do something else and still do that position very capably.
Right.
So I mean, I don't think it's like black and white. I think it's a balance.
Does Jen Mayer get a paycheck for Whole Fitness? Is that personal? I don't want to get you in trouble.
I don't know. She's never shared, so I'm.
Yeah.
So
how would you feel about someone starting something like a Whole Fitness and they're like, man, I want to do this 24/7, but I gotta make some money.
I would love for that to be like, you get paid for that.
So how's that any different than what?
Because it's not church.
Because I just think like labeling
But
something.
is a live student ministry church?
I think labeling
Yeah.
something as ministry
We
just
wouldn't call
like
it. We wouldn't say that's church.
a lot of people say it's church for them.
Well, that doesn't mean that makes it true.
No,
We would
But-
encourage them. Don't look at Alive as church.
right?
But then
we
it's like,
do
how do you
encourage-
define? It's all about defining what you.
Right.
We are the church.
So yeah, I mean, it gets very messy
We're
very
a church
quickly.
right now.
Yeah.
Like with ministry, and like you could call that ministry, like Whole Fit. You could call that a church if you wanted.
Well,
In a certain
whole
way.
ministry.
Whole ministry.
Full fitness is a business, and I don't think anyone would bristle at us calling it a
No,
business.
totally.
But I
Right.
think it does get it.
But is a church a business?
No.
Oh, I don't
See,
know.
well, that's tricky.
Should
though.
it be like
That-
from the
yeah?
Bible?
Should it be? You know, because whenever I hear church talked about like that, I just always think of Pharisees.
Well, I'm
It's
just
my
throwing
brain
that
goes.
question
Which
out
the
there. Is it a
Levites,
business? Do
God-
they have to hire, fire? Do they have to have benefits? Is there workers' comp if you get hurt? Is it a
I don't know.
business?
So if you think
Should
about
it
how
be? Should
it
God
be?
set it up at the very beginning, the Levites, full-time ministry.
Shout out Levi.
Oh, you're a sweet little baby. You're he's tiny.
Levi the wee guy.
But the Levites, full-time ministry, full-time ministering to God. And then you've got Paul, that we know some of the time was a tent maker, a leather worker.
yeah.
So,
Right.
But Tim, should church be a business from a biblical standpoint?
Well, I don't know if that's a weird question. Should it? I think it has to. It has to function as one.
Why is that?
I mean, now, could we have a home church where it wouldn't necessarily be a quote-unquote business? Okay, I guess it just depends on the purpose of the church, how many people
Mm-hmm.
do you have to employ. Like at some point, the government has a say in that.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, it all comes down to, no matter where you have church or what it looks like or what part of the country or the world, it's going to look different, and it has to be specific.
Right.
You can't just say church has to be
There's
where
no
people
one size
attend.
fits all.
Like, there's 1,000 people that attend, and anything smaller is not a church. Or church has to be 10 people in a house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't put a label and, like, say this is how church has to
Right.
be.
You can't
Right.
generalize.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
I think that's fair. I think it's different strokes for different folks, and it's going to look different when we go to Cali, Colombia in June,
Mm-hmm.
to when we went to Liberia, Africa, and how church is done out there, and here in America, and the culture.
Right.
I just think, it's all about what you want to accomplish. So for us to accomplish what we want to in our purpose at North Hills, we have to have full-time people.
Mm-hmm.
In order to have a full-time person, you got to compensate them.
Sure. And it's not like you could just go from how you're doing it now to nobody gets paid, or it doesn't look like a business anymore.
And how do you hold those people accountable? Like, I remember when I was starting the internship program, we weren't going to pay our interns. And I was talking with Jim Thompson of Fellowship Greenville, and he was like, dude, you got to pay your interns.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't pay me, Tim.
I know, I did.
I know, you need to.
He's like, you got to pay your interns. I was like, why? He's like, because, man, then you can hold them, like, totally accountable. You can expect a certain,
and that's good.
Because I'll tell you what, I will say the hardest thing I do in my job is so much of our ministry depends on volunteers.
Yeah.
That at any time can look at me and say, hey, I know I committed, but I can't make it tonight.
Right.
And what am I going to do? Look at them and be like, yeah, you got to come.
Right.
Like, I can't.
And that's where, like,
do that.
compensating people comes in the church, which I think, I mean, it's a hard balance to walk, a hard line to walk, but that's where I think compensating people comes in really well.
But what if they don't want to be? I mean, there's tons of North Hillers where if you try and compensate them, they won't take it.
Yeah. And I
I'll
think
take
the
it.
I don't
yeah,
know. I can't imagine why.
There's like a Mike Cruz. I know him so well. If I was like, hey man, we wanted to get you this $100. I know Mike would just be like, dude, that's not why I do it.
Right.
Like, I don't want it.
And that's
Like,
awesome.
Now it's different if we're like, Mike, will you drive down to Miami, Florida, and pick up the $1 dinner pizza and drive all the way back from Florida, and we want you to take it out of your wallet? Yeah, I think we should compensate him.
Right. And I think there's a thing here of like, I totally agree the church should compensate for whatever work is being done. Like, I totally agree with that. But
Yeah.
I think by giving some people like full-time salaries, you're giving them an excuse not to contribute more to like their society or their like,
I'm with
community. You know what I mean?
I always feel challenged with serving on Sunday morning with drums.
Mm-hmm.
Like we should be giving the extra oomph.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you were to ask everyone on our staff, where do you serve? That might be a weird question to them.
Right.
Like, where does Alan Bunn serve in our church? Now, I'm sure he serves in so many areas that aren't on his job description, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
But, like, I serve on the worship team as a drummer. Like, I have to get to church at 6:45 in the morning when Alive doesn't start until 7 at night.
Yeah.
Like, there should be a beautiful balance, I think,
Yeah.
of the two.
Definitely.
Now, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to leave the ending of this podcast to you three.
Okay.
I have a 12 o'clock lunch appointment with Matthew Arnold at Genghis Grill.
Wow.
And it
Shout out to
is
Genghis Grill.
11:48. I have 12 minutes to get over to Woodruff Road.
Ooh.
Tim, you want to just close this out?
Oh, do we want to end it? We can do that. We
Yeah.
can close
I got to go too.
Okay, so Mary McKenzie, official addition to the Colliding Forward podcast. That's what's up. That's a huge win for us. Because we thought we were just going to get her for one. Now we have tricked her into all. And I think our listeners are going to be really happy about that. So, Beth Wadsworth, Mom, you're going to love this. You're going to love it.
Yes.
I think Peter and Cameron, you brought some good food for thought, I think, with viewing church, money, Lamborghinis.
YouTube Rewind.
YouTube Rewind, which I still don't.
You should watch it. The first 3 seconds make it.
Yeah.
Well, if it's Will Smith,
Just watch
I
the
will.
Will Smith part.
That's all you need.
And Benito, ami, yami. Party in the city. When
I don't
the
know how
heat
many
is
people
on
you
all
just
night.
offended, but it's a
Till the
lot.
break of dawn.
Okay.
It's a lot of
It's
people.
Will Smith.
I don't know how.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just
We're
the
done.
two
Don't
We're
you have
of
to
us.
be
Yeah.
somewhere, Tim?
Yeah,
All
I
right,
think you have an appointment.
cue the theme song.
Yeah.
Dun,
This
dun,
is-
dun.
See you guys next week.
Thank you guys for listening.